The next agenda is a fireside chat. It's titled Building a Future Ready Financial Ecosystem in the Middle East. It's presented by Abu Dhabi Exchange. And for that, may I please request on stage Mr. Ayman Triki and Mr. Arshad Gadit for a fireside chat on capital market growth in the Middle East. Mr. Ayman Triki is the acting Chief Capital Market Officer at ADX and has a wealth of experience in financial markets and business strategy. And with him, we have Arshad Gadit, Global CEO at AdGuidelines. He's a seasoned assurance, tax, business strategy consultant.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again. So just to put some perspective to what are we going to talk about now and to set the scene here, I would like to share some facts of how the Middle East market is evolving in terms of capital market size of the operations and the business. So you've got the Middle East market has racked up around $12 billion worth of trades in IPO in last 2 years only. And if you were to look at ADX, that's also hitting a record high of a market cap of $1 trillion, just that short of $1 trillion. And that shows the confidence of the investors in this market and also shows that regional market, they don't sleep anymore. And ADX also, joining that momentum. With that in the backdrop and the capital markets activities which are going on, the one key phrase which keeps cropping up is capital markets agility. And for that, me and Ayman will delve into this topic a little bit more for next 20 odd minutes session. The clock is ticking. We will get into the details, and none other than the guru of the capital markets at the ADX is with us, the man behind the machine himself. So we'll have a fireside chat, a little conversation, just to be, you all are participant to this chat, so please chip in if you feel like. So from your perspective, my friend, what do you think agility really means from a perspective of the regional market of capital markets as well as ADX, and why is it relevant now more than ever? Please, Ayman.
Thanks, Arshad, and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good morning to everyone, and thank you very much for this invitation to be here with you this morning. Just to, I'd like to start with giving a few numbers just to add and complement what you've been introducing. So 5 years ago, Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange market cap was around $200 billion. Today, after 5 years, we are reaching the 1 trillion. And that came through a vision. And the vision is incorporating a lot of agility, a lot of hard work, with our ecosystem. Our agility comes from many different aspects, whether it comes from reforms, policy adaptation, rapid adaptation of this policy. It comes from technology growth. It comes from cross-border collaboration. And Abu Dhabi Security Exchange, we've been very good at looking at this holistically and making sure that we are in an edge where we could deliver to our investors. As an exchange, we serve customers. Our customers are the investors, and our products are the stocks, are the derivatives, the ETFs, the bonds, all the different securities that are listed in our venue. And one really good example that I really like to put every time when I address different audiences, with our products, the diversity that we have, we are able to address different type of investors' needs. We have an ETF market, which is the most active ETF in the region. It's only 17 ETFs, but it's the most active in the region, and it's growing. We do have an ETF that covers different regions. We have an ETF that covers Pakistan, which is a real good investment opportunity for investors looking at investing in their homeland while being here sitting in the UAE. And that's one of the things that we've been trying to put together for our investors, making sure that they understand what the investment is about. And in terms of literacy, in terms of investment educational, we made it in a way that for our investors to understand these instruments, it is treated as what is the common investment that most of the investors are dealing with on an exchange at an IPO, an initial public offering. So we've created what we call the IOP, which is an initial offering period. So an ETF is treated pretty much the same way as an IPO, and that relates a lot to our investors, and we've seen a very good adaptation from our investors into these type of investments, and we hope to see this growing and growing as we go.
And any particular listing or a reform or a change you would like to highlight? Anything?
Well, I think we've in the last 5 years, especially with the Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange, we've been working on different initiatives that helps our investors to find another value proposition to be able to invest in our products. So we came up with an initiative that is called Tabadul. So Tabadul is basically it's a very unique proposition, which is a hub or a network of exchanges that links different exchanges together. So today we have 6 exchanges linked together. We have exchanges
regionally, that is, or globally?
Yeah,
6 exchanges?
We're talking about Bahrain, Oman, Kazakhstan, Armenia, and Tajikistan. And we have another pipeline of exchanges who wants to join this. So basically what it means is that any investor here in the UAE is able to invest in these markets sitting here with your local broker. You don't need to have an account in Kazakhstan to be able to invest in a particular stock. And same thing goes with the other exchanges where they can actually come and invest in our stocks or our products while being there. So this is a very unique proposition that is not, you don't see anywhere else. And we've been able to put it together. It's still growing, it's still at a very infant stage, but we really have a great hopes for this hub.
Anything in AI, blockchain, that's the buzzword everybody wants to hear about. Anything in tokenization, which the exchange is working on?
Absolutely. Look, we had our first digital bonds a couple of months ago that has been listed. It was a very, again, the collaboration that we had with our ecosystem. It was listed with FAB and HSBC Orient. That was our very first digital bonds. Tokenization is also another hot topic as well that we're also looking at putting together into our operating model. And on the AI more specifically, last week at GITEX we announced, it was a huge announcement from our side, and I think for us it's going to be a real game changer when it comes to financial literacy and investment education. So we've launched what we call the AI disclosure tool. So this is a tool that will help investors understand very lengthy documents. So all companies, they disclose their quarterly report, annual report, and these are really long documents that you can't really have unless you're really experts, and we all here experts, but from an investment perspective, when you spend too much, you don't really have too much time to spend on a particular document. So that what this tool does is it creates an interactive video, and in today's world, I think people likes to watch videos as opposed to read documents, and it summarizes the key elements of these reports into a very interactive video that is going to summarize the entire thing. And it doesn't give, of course, investment advices, but it gives you all the different facts that you need as an investor to take that decision. So today we think that you are in a world where you can, in 10 minutes, you can open an account and invest in cryptocurrencies. Well, we think that we should be doing something on that perspective to help our investors to have that access to the information and to the data, and being able to, instead of spending 15 minutes reading a document, while you spend 15 seconds looking at a video, and then you can make a decision whether it's worth for you to spend the next 15 minutes digging into that particular instrument.
So that cannot be done through ChatGPT or any other AI
Well,
platforms. It's just like
it is
purely proprietary of ADX.
Yeah, it is. It can't really be done on ChatGPT or other AI tools because it lacks the accuracy of an engine that can read and understand what is the a particular financial documents or particular disclosure that the company has actually released. So it needs to be trained, which we've been doing. So our AI engine has been trained on these type of disclosure, and the videos would highlight. Would take you through the report and would highlight the different figures that they are talking about. So you are sure that there is accuracy on what the avatar that is presenting that video is saying. So that's we think is a real game changer in terms of data and financial data that is exposed to our investors. And we hope to see more and more good investment decision made through this tool.
Great. So we've got deep pockets in the room. We've got CFOs representing companies. How many of you, through your personal investment, and I know that's deep pockets you have, or through your companies have invested or subscribed to any of the IPOs in the region, if not ADX, by show of hands? Yasir, I know that you've invested a lot of your own wealth in this. But you've seen a lack of enthusiasm. So what can you say to the investors pool sitting in front of you?
Well, I think we are in a particular timing where Abu Dhabi and the UAE in general is attracting a lot of international investors. What this means is that, and actually Abu Dhabi is claiming to be the capital of the capital. A lot of flows are actually coming to Abu Dhabi and to the UAE. We are, just to give you a sense of numbers again, IPOs, particularly the IPO product is the most appealing for the investors. So the UAE ranked number 8th globally in the last 2 years by IPO proceeds. Last year, it ranked number 5th worldwide by IPO proceeds, just after the US, China, and India, and if I can recall, I think the UK. So, which means that oversubscription to these IPOs have been quite high. So investors are really, and institutional investors mainly, most importantly, are actually looking at these are really great opportunities for investments. And that's where we think that a lot of, and this is what we're also doing with our ecosystem, is to make sure there is enough financial literacy. We don't want to have investors who are gambling. We are looking at decision made in a way that through education, through data and real meanings that would justify these type of investments. So what we're doing now is we're coming with new different financial products. We're looking at creating more derivatives, more futures for treasury professionals to look at, find ways of hedging if they need to do that. We're working on commodity futures. That's also something that is missing here in the region. We are again expanding our ETF markets because it's one of these less risky markets to invest in, and it gives you exposure to a lot of different other stocks that you don't have necessarily access to. And we think this diversification would help a lot the investors to have a way to invest in, on the market.
You mentioned ETFs, and you said something about ETFs Pakistan also. Yeah. So you can invest, or if you can just educate.
Yeah, so we have an ETF covering Pakistan, the S&P Pakistan BMI index. It's an index that covers, I think, some of the stocks, the major stocks in Pakistan. And I'm sure you can relate a lot to these companies, successful companies that are in Pakistan. You are able to invest into that ETF, into this baskets of stocks through one ETF, and that gives you that exposure that you're looking at. So we also have other ETFs that covers other regions. We have an ETF that covers the US, Germany, Japan, India, we have an ETF that covers Sharia compliant sukuks. We have an ETF that covers China as well. And we are another ETF that we listed a couple of weeks ago that covers quantum computing. And this is just the start. We are only having 17, but we have a good pipeline of other listings that are coming before the end of the year and also for next year for other products to be listed.
So, mashallah, there's lots of activity going on and the speed of technology which ADX has been working on. But at the same time, innovation comes fast, but regulations comes carefully. How do you manage the net off between the two? It must be challenging.
We are sitting in a very privileged place here at the Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange. We are very close to our regulator, the Security and Commodity Authority. And we've been in a very open discussion on how we make sure that we learn from each other and help the investor community. Early this year, we went through a major transformation of our operating model. So what we've done is we transformed our holding, our company into a holding company, and we created what we call the post-trade function, which is the CCP and the CSG, which looks after the clearing, and then the settlement and the depository. This way, we're now having a holding company that has AD Clear and AD CSG. These two functions represent the post-trade, and this is to be more in line with the international standards. We are now able to have a very similar operating model that you see in the mature market, and this way we're proposing more services on the post-trade side that is appealing mainly for institutional investors. What we've also done lately is we have created what we call a remote membership scheme, where we will have international prime brokers. And that also tells you the
international what? Sorry.
Prime brokers.
Prime brokers, yeah, okay.
The like of Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan,
That's right,
Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. So all of these prime brokers will now have access, a direct access to ADX market. That tells you that shows you the appetite that we have on the large scale, on the international scale. All of these prime brokers are looking now at coming to the UAE, to the Middle East, and because they foresee a huge opportunity of investment for their hedge funds. So with the prime broker, we give access to the big hedge funds that require to have a direct connection to the exchange, and we are solving a problem basically which we used to have, which was the connectivity. And now we are really happy to be more connected to these prime brokers. We are more connected to institutional investors, to global hedge funds, and that will help a lot with the liquidity of the market. That will help a lot with the depth of the market. And we looking, and this is just a start. We actually have a quite robust roadmap for the next 2-3 years. We have a 2030 vision, capital market vision that we are in the process of implementing, and we, alhamdulillah, we're really fortunate to have a very open leadership to these, and about agility. They've been really bold in taking decisions and making sure that we can address these markets' needs as we go.
So global investors, correct me if I'm wrong, they're around 40%, makes the portfolio 40%, and what's the plan to increase that percentage, or if not, then?
Yeah, so we are, so the way we in the capital market, we have what we call the retail investment, which comes from retail individuals, and the institutional investments, which is the professional investors. Retail counts for around 20% of our investments, and 80% comes from institutionals. Institutionals are around 50% foreigner. We have around 12,000 institutional investors, and we serve around 200 nationalities of retail investors. And 90% of our retail investors are of foreign nationalities.
And so if I were to fast forward, we all have this future watch. If in 2030 we both are allowed by Khushbu and the organizing committee to come again on this stage, what kind of outset and outlook you would like to see for the capital markets as a whole and ADX? So any thoughts?
So I think from my perspective, and I think this is actually quite, I'm very close to the Tabadul project. That it's not a project anymore, it's in production. So, but we hope to see that network expanding to more exchanges to give opportunities to investors to have a much broader investment opportunities. We'd like to see more retail investors, more educated investors on our products. And of course, we'd love to see more diversification to our products and financial products that we're offering. I think GCC, UAE in particular, are in a very great positioning to be able to provide that.
Thank you very much. This is amazing and inspirational. And that's what agility means. Market is moving. ADX has moved beyond that, or in fact, faster than the market. That also is a lesson for us as finance professionals also, that the agility should be is a mindset. The outside world is moving. We should move also faster. So thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, the guru of ADX, please round of applause for him.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.